What if I told you that within you resides an energy so powerful that, if properly channeled, it can awaken your spiritual heart, open your inner vision, and awaken your divine consciousness? This energy is not found in distant temples or obtained through vain prayers. It lies dormant within you. It is sexual energy, but the ancients didn't consider it solely a passion or a pleasure. For them, it was the primordial fire of creation. Over the centuries, many traditions have preserved a secret knowledge that today seems almost forgotten: the art of transmuting masculine energy based on an essential practice, testicular breathing. This isn't a modern technique or a passing spiritual fad. It's an ancient practice used by Taoist alchemists, tantrics, and mystics from various cultures who understood a sacred truth. Semen is not just a biological seed, but a source of spiritual energy. And if this energy isn't wasted, it can move up the spine, nourish the heart, and open the third eye. In other words, it can transform you into a truly conscious human being. This video is not for those who seek aimless pleasures or fear self-discipline. This is a call to the man who wishes to see himself as a temple, and who knows that his sexuality is not a game, but a sacred path of power, creation, and awakening. Here, we explore the mysteries of testicular breathing in depth and without censorship. You will understand what it is, how it works, and why its practice can transform not only your body, but also your mind, your emotions, and your spiritual world. We will discuss its ancestral origins, its connection to the sacred masculine, and how it elevates energy from the testicles, the cauldron of vitality, to higher centers such as the heart and third eye. It is an act of inner elevation, a living alchemy, a dance between the fire of the roots and the light of the spirit. You will also learn how to use it, the most common errors, and the benefits it offers to those who practice it with dedication and discipline. For it's not just a sexual control technique, it's a direct path to inner mastery and the expansion of male consciousness. While its name may surprise you, or even provoke nervous laughter, testicular breathing is one of the most profound methods for reconnecting with male spiritual power. You're not here by accident. Perhaps your soul has reached the point where it no longer wastes energy, but desires to expand it. Prepare to remember what the modern world has forgotten. Your creative energy, properly directed, is the ladder to the divine. From the mystical sands of the Egyptian desert to the peaceful temples of the Himalayas, the ancients knew what the modern world has forgotten. Sexual energy is not merely physical, it is divine. Its proper channeling was considered a sacred science, an inner alchemy, a bridge between the animal and the celestial. The practice of testicular breathing, although not always called so, was a form of knowledge transmitted by initiatory cultures. According to symbolic codes, the sages of Taoism, for example, spoke of the golden elixir, an energetic substance that accumulated in the male genitals and, once refined and channeled, rose through the central channel, the Dumai meridian, to the crown of the head, illuminating every energy center in its path. For these alchemists of the body, the testicles were not mere biological organs. They were living crystals, temples for storing life, veritable laboratories where the vital force, the Jing, was condensed. Through conscious breathing, this reservoir could be activated and transformed into a more subtle vibration, Qi, a transformed life energy that nourished the mind, heart, and soul. Similar concepts are found in Tantric India. Scholars and yogis spoke of Kundalini, the fiery serpent that resides at the base of the spine. Although commonly associated with the coccyx or root chakra, ancient texts recognized that refined semen was the initial fuel for this ascension. Sexual transmutation through breath and concentration was called Vajroli Mudra, a technique that transports sublimated semen to the brain and enables states of expansion and samadhi. Parallels can even be found in Western Hermetic traditions. The axiom solve et coagula, dissolve and reunite, was not only an external instruction, but also an internal one. The dense energy of the sexual impulse had to be dissolved and coagulated into spiritual light. Christian alchemists spoke of the birth of the inner Christ in the heart, an esoteric metaphor for the transmuted energy rising from the kidneys to the chest. It is fascinating to note that, even though the names change, the principle remains the same. Creative energy should not be wasted but refined, It should not be denied or repressed, but transformed into fuel for spiritual awakening. Testicular breathing is therefore a forgotten part of a much larger map. A map that reminds us that the body is not an obstacle to the mind, but its most sacred instrument. That sexuality is neither a sin nor a blind impulse, but an ancestral art of awakening. Those who learn to breathe from their roots regain not only their vitality, but also their spiritual dignity. They become their own alchemists again. At the heart of male inner alchemy lies a universal principle. What does not rise stagnates or is lost. Testicular breathing is the technique that transforms sexual energy, that raw force that roars within the body, into an upward flow of vibrant consciousness. To understand it, you must first understand the environment in which it evolves. Imagine your testicles as sacred chalices. Day after day, the densest and most creative energy in your body is stored there. It's not just semen, but jingui, the life essence of Taoism, an energetic concentrate that preserves your genetic makeup, your immune system, your overall vitality, and even your sexual potency. This spiritual fluid, as it's called in ancient alchemical texts, can have three applications: wasted through habit or compulsion, repressed, creating tension and imbalance, transmuted, meaning inhaled, elevated, and transformed into energetic gold. This is where the practice of testicular breathing comes in. It's not literally breathing through your testicles, but rather a conscious, synchronized breathing technique that focuses attention on this energetic region. As you breathe, you visualize and feel the heat accumulated there, then use the breath as an energetic bridge to transport this energy to higher centers. But why breathing? Because it is the only conscious bridge between the physical and the subtle. Controlling breathing is like controlling the flow of energy. Air symbolizes the spirit in almost every tradition. By combining awareness, breathing, and determination, you create an internal cycle of energetic ascension. How to practice? Sit with your spine straight and your perineum slightly tense, as if you were holding energy. Breathe deeply and imagine a ball of golden energy activating in your testicles. Exhale slowly and imagine this sphere moving up your spine, through your abdomen, solar plexus, and heart, until it reaches your center or crown. This path corresponds to the central energy channel Sushumna in yoga and Dumai in Taoism. As the energy rises, it nourishes and purifies each chakra, releasing emotions, awakening memories, and expanding consciousness. With practice, you may feel this movement as a tingling, a wave of warmth, or even a slight electrical impulse running down your spine. This is not about avoiding ejaculation through moral repression. It's about understanding that the constant loss of this energy weakens not only the physical body, but also the energy field. What is despised is depleted. In this first phase of the practice, the emphasis is not on control or restriction, but on developing inner sensitivity, perceiving one's sexual energy as a creative force rather than as an impulse or compulsion. True mastery lies not in repressing impulse, but in transforming it into vision. What was once blind fire is now conscious light. This is masculine alchemy, transforming instinct into spirituality, the dense into the subtle. And it all begins with a breath from an unknown direction, the hidden temple. Between your hips, testicular breathing is not just another technique in the vast universe of spiritual practices. It is essentially a path of masculine energetic initiation, and like any path of initiation, it must be approached with respect, clarity, and determination. After all, the same fire that illuminates can also burn, and not every impulse toward transmutation is guided by the soul's wisdom. So far, we've understood that breathing from the sexual center raises creative energy. But what happens when that energy reaches the higher centers? When the transmuted energy reaches the heart, the center of love, compassion, and empathy, a profound transformation occurs. Desire becomes surrender. The physical impulse transforms into spiritual magnetism. The heart becomes more sensitive, more present, more powerful. It begins to radiate a magnetic force that attracts, heals, and expands the surrounding consciousness. This is one reason why many men who practice regularly report increased vitality, heightened emotional clarity, deeper balance, and more serene relationships. Sexual energy rising in the heart humanizes desire and transforms it into tenderness, presence, and a love that seeks to give rather than dominate. As this energy rises to the interdental space or crown, it enters the realm of spiritual vision and intuition. The vital impulse becomes a transcendent vision. It is as if the fire at the base of the mind transforms into light. In Taoist texts, this is called nourishment for the mind. In Tantric yoga, the seed is guided to the bindu, a subtle point located behind the inner cortex that, when activated, awakens visions, spontaneous insights, and a mystical connection with the soul's purpose. The result? A person who no longer compulsively seeks external experiences, but lives with serenity and strength in their own center, creating, manifesting, and radiating from there. But it's not all luminous expansion. One of the most common mistakes is forcing energy upward without first clearing internal channels, both emotional and energetic. If energy encounters blockages along its path, it can stagnate, divert, or cause symptoms such as anxiety, insomnia, or irritability. Therefore, it is important to combine this practice with others that open the subtle channels of the energy body. I work with the chakras, freeing the diaphragm, where many emotions stagnate, and using conscious breathing and purifying mantras. It's also dangerous to approach this technique in a self-centered way, believing you can control energy simply by holding back. Ejaculation isn't alchemy. This is repression in disguise. True mastery lies not in controlling the body, but in recognizing and harmonizing the intention underlying desire. With humility, this practice becomes a path to awakening. Without it, it becomes a hollow theater of control. And how do you know if the exercise is working? The answer isn't a longer erection or the absence of orgasm. It's the change in your presence. You become more magnetic effortlessly. You experience your body serenely without fear. Your heart opens without fear. Your mind clears. And a warm, gentle sensation runs down your spine, as if something inside you has come home. This is the true sign. We don't control desire. We overcome it. Transform instinct into light, sex into wisdom, fire into vision. It's living alchemy. Testicular breathing isn't just a technique practiced in the silence of intimacy. It's an initiatory key that, once activated, begins to completely transform the way you live. And for this alchemical wisdom to take root in your life, it's not enough to simply repeat the practice. You must cultivate a lifestyle that fosters this surge of energy. Here are some practical yet deeply spiritual tips for incorporating this practice into your daily life and keeping your inner flame alive. 1. Create a sacred space for yourself every day. It doesn't need a temple or a mountain. Just a corner of your home where the silence is real and your intention is pure. Practice testicular breathing regularly, even if it's only for 10 minutes. 2. Regularity increases energy, not the duration of the practice. Practice it when you wake up or before bed. Intention is important. Honor this moment as a ritual, as if you were attuning your soul to the source of creation. Stop seeing your sexual energy as a problem. Many men fall into the trap of fighting desire, seeing it as an enemy to be controlled. However, desire is a powerful force that simply needs to be channeled. It's not about repressing it, but about redirecting it. Observe your desire with respect, not as an uncontrolled animal, but as a sacred river capable of irrigating your higher centers. Whenever you feel the fire rising, remind yourself that this energy can increase. Connect with your heart before acting, before giving in to automatic impulses, whether unconscious masturbation or anxiously seeking external stimuli. Pause, breathe, place one hand on your testicles and the other on your heart. Breathe deeply and ask yourself, can I transform this energy into love? Can I transform it into an act of mindfulness? This simple act completely changes the direction of your energy. 4. Fuel your fire with mindfulness. What you eat, see, and think nourishes or contaminates your energy field. Sexual energy reacts directly to your lifestyle. Avoid toxic stimuli, pornography, violence, heavy meals, and negative environments. Instead, focus on inspiring art, vibrant food, and warm company. Remember, your energy reflects your environment. Take care of it. 5. Respect slowness. Alchemy isn't instantaneous. We live in a culture obsessed with quick results, but transforming energy requires patience, listening, and presence. The ancients didn't speak of goals, but of processes. If you don't feel anything one day, move on. If the energy is intense the next, observe it without getting attached. Testicular breathing is not meant to impress, but to reveal. And this revelation happens silently, without control. 6. Apply this practice to your relationships. When you transform your energy, your relationships change. Your partner notices it, your family feels it, your eyes reflect it. Practice breathing before intimate encounters, not to prolong them, but to be more present. Transform the physical act into a ritual of energetic fusion, where the sacred masculine is offered with integrity, presence, and openness. To live from the transformed sexual center is to live as an awakened being, a modern alchemist who is not afraid of his fire. He welcomes it, elevates it, and offers it to the world as light.